Alright. Well, here's hoping that all goes well here. Next thing I need to do. There it is. Okay. Alright. So, testing. First attempt with XSplit before this gets working. Whatever, we're just going to get on. So, first explanation of this. This is AD&D Champions of Krynn, the first Gold Box game to feature the Dragonlance series. Of course, SSI did numerous D&D games in the late 80s, early 90s, including the Silver Box games of Krynn, in which were kind of action-adventure-y, sort of Zelda 2-like, and really horrible. Very, very hard to play, but have a decent amount of speedrunners anyway. I guess you could learn, but I could never play them as a kid. This is the more simple, actual D&D-based rules and such, and so we've got our party here. We have 3 fighters, black, blue, and green. White and red are mage clerics of the specific color, which affects alignment and has a couple of different things. The red cleric has less hit points, but he has access to more spells, including Hold Person, which is really powerful at the beginning, so he'll get more of those quicker. White has the more hit points, and he can do pretty much all the same things otherwise. They're both really good at turning undead as well, which is helpful for some parts of the game, especially early on. Except for the red mage, we all have plate mail on because this game has Knights of Solamnia, which are kind of the Dragonlance equivalent of paladins, more or less. They start with longsword shields and plate mail. And so we have created some dummy knights and transferred their equipment to these guys, so we get to start with plate mail and as well as stuff. So we don't have to buy any armor and just a couple of weapons for these guys. Now, they did decide that this was within the rules. When I was first running this, I didn't do such a thing because you can actually, with this character import and create system, we can add in characters that have played the game previously and have collected equipment and experience already and used them again or transfer their equipment over, and that kind of creates a new game plus type of situation, which could be a viable category on its own, but is not really an 80% new game style, which is what we want to play here. But since these knights we stole stuff from technically haven't existed yet, we can go ahead and steal their stuff, and the boss decided it was okay and another runner started doing it, so it's kind of what we do. Makes things go a little bit quicker and easier, so we don't have to worry about armor in the early stage, except for one character. One character is naked in order to force surrenders, because morale in the Gold Box games, when morale breaks, the actions of the enemy are determined by their speed and your speed. If they are the same speed or faster, they will run away. If they are slower, they will just automatically surrender, and that makes things a lot quicker. Red, for the most part, should be relatively safe in the back until we can get him some decent armor that will let him keep his speed, which we'll be grabbing later on. There are a few things that I do that's different than the world record run, which relies on not safety saving at all, but I can't really do that, and this is for a marathon practice anyway, where we need to safety save, so I'll be doing a bunch of things a little bit differently and in some ways more safely. But let's go ahead and begin. So this is in the Krynn setting of Dragonlance, with all the books by Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weiss, of course. And so some of those major NPCs feature into this game. First thing we need to do is set the speed to fastest, which makes this a very fast game. You're going to hardly be able to tell what's going on. We're going to memorize our spells. Cure Light Wounds allows us to fix up our party members in camp really quickly. Whoops. That's we don't want to do Magic Missile because we actually never use Magic Missile in this game because it's just never convenient. Maybe I could get some later on, but it just isn't worth the time generally. Okay, now we go to the armory and we buy a staff sling for each of our guys here. This will allow us to do some ranged attacks and hit some of the monsters in the back. So, okay, we auto our warriors. Can we see them? Yes, we'll go ahead and attack. For the most part, our warriors will be on auto the entire game. We'll just let our fighters chop people down. Because this is first edition, low-level stuff, there's a lot of missing going on. Can we see him? Yes. It's going to be very useful when we sleep the enemies, which won't be for a bit. Okay, you just quit and kill him off, alright. That took a little longer than it should have. Now we see the big gruesome. We don't help the people because this is an RPG and we generally do not help people. So we're supposed to go to this city which has been occupied by the evil forces of the goddess Tarkesis, various monsters, evil humans, and other races, and such. And of course evil dragons. Because this is Dragonlance, dragons feature in majorly into the game. Very good. Got a bunch of sleeps here. So sleep spells are extremely powerful because they can put multiple enemies to sleep, which makes them helpless, as it says here. If an enemy is paralyzed or slept, whoops, that was a mistake. I accidentally canceled auto for combat for my 3 guys. Not a huge deal though. If they are helpless, every attack, the next attack against them, physical attack, will automatically hit and automatically coup de grace them, so that they'll be defeated instantly. I'm not going to sleep with these guys, I used too many in that last fight, so we'll just go with... I'm taking care of them quick enough. Random encounters are a major part of RNG in this run, and most especially, some of them are extremely dangerous. This one's fine, but even giant centipedes, which are generally a really weak monster, are extremely threatening in this because they have a poison that can instant kill. This guy says that he's on our side, but he's lying. He calls a bunch of monsters to jump us. We say no immediately. If you let him into your party, as he accepts, as soon as you get to a certain point, he'll spring a trap on you. So you tell him no, and you get the trap, and you have combat him automatically. So these two are probably going to surrender here in a minute, if they survive. They did not, so no worry. I let this guy join. Oh, I said no to him. Whoops. That's unusual. Oh well, it's a little bit faster, I guess. Here are some of the dangerous centipedes. He can actually be semi-useful because he sits at range with a Hoopak, which is a Kender-specific item in the Dragonlance universe. And it can, the rats are no real threat, so we don't care about them. He takes a tiny bit of experience, but you don't get a whole lot here anyway. Okay, I said no to him too, both times. Oh well. He can stop that from happening as well, which, and also just he can be a convenient tank and everything, but it's a little bit technically slower to get him. World record doesn't, but, alright, early part of the game is a contest of speed between your characters and the enemy casters, your casters and the enemies. Our white and red mages are able to, instantly kill enemies by paralyzing them or putting them to sleep, and enemy clerics can do the same. The mages do not cast sleep, thank goodness, but they can cast charm person, which will automatically, which will put them on the enemy side, which could be even more awful. A practice run I was doing the other day, the first enemy to go was a mage type who charmed one of my clerics, and then my cleric cast hold person on 3 of my guys, and so they were all insta-killed, so I had to reload that fight. So, gonna fix here. I should memorize sleep as well. Oh my. Okay, undead we can turn, which will automatically cause them to, technically they're supposed to run away, but the game decides to just let them automatically be removed from combat. Chain figure, we let him go. And this was the knight we were supposed to rescue, and now we can leave the area, but we're not going back yet. Okay, anything dangerous? No, just some more fighters. Let's go ahead and do some sleep spells on these guys. 3 sleeps isn't bad. You have to be careful because there is no friendly fire in this game. If you put area spells where they will hit your party members, they will hit them. At times, we're just going to have that happen. Going that way to avoid a trap and some more monster attacks. Okay, good, no casters. As long as we don't get casters, and again, centipedes, because if they bite us, they're pretty weak monsters, but they're poison insta-kills in first edition rules, and we basically can't afford to have any of our characters die, boy. One of the, a couple of the reasons we dropped the difficulty down to minimum novice is that it halves the hit points of the enemies, and in addition allows us to rest a lot more easily. I didn't realize that that was a part of it for quite a while, but alright, good, it went off. So he's alright. Then once again, contest between our casters and theirs. There we go. And now kill him, and good. Easy battle done. He can paralyze us, and it can be awful. And of course, we almost always get this wonderful situation. Okay, hopefully I'll put these mages to sleep. Good. Both black mages went to sleep. So, as seen in other Dragonlance games, perhaps, there are actually red, white, red, and black mages in Dragonlance, just like in Final Fantasy, but they're totally different. They're all just basically D&D magic users, so they use the same weapons, and they have generally the same spell list, but it's alignment-based. White mages are good, red mages are neutral, black mages are evil, and there are just a couple of spells that can be used by some and not others. So now we run back to go to the hall to train our characters up. Alright, now we need to memorize some of our spells back again. Spell Magic and Prayer, pretty important. Get our sleep spells. They're actually, and also the spells that they can use are determined by the moon cycle, which you can see at the top of the game there. When a particular moon is full, that character gets a bunch of bonus spells, that type of mage. If they, Monster's attack, no surprise. I have lots. No, I don't have as many sleeves, so I'm not going to worry about it. We'll just take it down. Shouldn't be too long. And when it's empty, they get none, and if it's like half full, they get one. So now we come into the secret hidden temple. Golly, getting a lot of monster hits. At least they're not super bad numbers. Okay, undead dealt with. Can't use the ranged weapons in combat. Don't care. Our fighters will take care of it. Set encounter here against the cleric and a bunch of undead. Excellent. Now we turn the undead, we turn the ghouls as well, which is good, because they can paralyze, which again will lead to instant deaths. We mentioned a few of Sir Caravan's guards here. We have some people in here. We have no thief because there are a few traps in the game. They aren't very deadly or bad anyway. Thieves are almost useless in first edition if you aren't opening locks or disarming traps. And when it comes to opening locks, our super strong fighters are more than capable of dealing with that. All on their own, so it's just better to have the fighters and such. Okay, now we're going to save the game. We're going to have Red cast Prayer just to make this a little bit easier, because we have a lot of mages and clerics in this battle, and we want to try and get as many of them as we can. Okay, Silence is slightly dangerous, but potentially can... Okay, that was very bad that it failed. We need the clerics most of all because they can paralyze up to 3 party members. 1, 2, 3... Okay, that was good. Charm failed. Magic Missile. Okay, that's fine. Let's hold person the mages. If I get all them, then this is a fine fight. Okay, only one. Let's try a sleep. The silence... Oh god, only affected him. There's his magic missile, but I think he's used everything, so... And he just got killed, so we're good. Took some damage and stuff, but that wasn't a bad fight, really. They only got a couple of spells off, and we're fine. So let's get a flail. There's a healing potion. I never use it, so we won't bother. Alright, so this is the problem with saving, and why it's a lot faster not safety save, is you don't have to do this. Word 6 after that is options. Okay. Most of the other Gold Box games, the copyright protection things were disabled, so you could put whatever you wanted. They weren't for the Dragonlance games for whatever reason. They couldn't crack them, or different people would have gone importing them to GOG or something, I don't know. But you do have to enter them right, or the game shuts down, which is unfortunate, and again, makes the game a lot faster if you This is one of the main reasons I make Red my guy who can... The evil curate is pretty much immune to sleep. Oh, no. Okay, well, the good news is... This is not as bad a fight because we can turn the undead and then it's just him left. And that's the temple. Here's another fight here. I probably should have saved it beforehand. Alright. Now we'll take out the cleric. So this is why I like to get staff slings. Because we can target those guys, because it doesn't last forever, and if our RNG is really bad with us and our characters can't hit, and they never get to the back lines, they will wake up and then be able to fight us, so being able to target them in the back like that is pretty handy. Gonna do Magic Missile now, because we shouldn't need too many more sleep spells. Monsters attack. This happens a lot when you rest in dangerous areas. At higher difficulties, it only happens a little bit here. Luckily, these were not dangerous monsters. Now, rats are fast, so they tried to run away, but we were able to kill them easily when they ran away. So, let's see. Do I need to rest anymore? Okay, he can memorize his prayers still. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and cast Hold Person on the undead. Or on the cleric, I mean. Good, he's held. Now we cure the undead. Turn the undead, I mean, easily. Feel easily with him. Oh, gall. And more clerics. I can't afford to have too many... Oh, geez, and only held one. Okay, phew. That could have been very bad, but once we get up ahead here, we'll get a magic item that will more of them. Sheesh. Okay, that will greatly help us to deal with. Any more? Yes. I should have cast on it. 3 helds. Yep, and that's just how bad things can get. Okay, first test of dropping the game in this and seeing if all goes well. Looks like everything is going well, except that the game isn't loading. This is another problem I've been having recently, but it's more minor. It takes like 4 times starting the game before it decides to actually hold, which loses some time. Okay. Okay, now let's hope we don't get any more encounters. Oh, goodness. Okay, got the cleric. Okay, got the cleric. Okay, we can actually flee from these guys and the battle goes away. Now here's the last really dangerous fight for the most part. Been cursed, but that's fine. 1 guy down, I'll take. Luckily, the cleric only has 1 hold person spell, so the curse isn't that bad. He surrendered. Okay, now we're going to fix. But now from here on, everything's going to be pretty easy. There are a couple of fights that are nasty, but I don't have to worry as much about... Oh, gall. Please. Alright, so, wonderful thing about that, at least, is... Now he's silenced, everyone around him is silenced as well, so... Alright. We'll come into here. We get our treasure here, we get our important thing, and here we can rest perfectly fine, so... Looks like a safe place to rest, so we'll finish memorizing our spells here. We don't need to worry about the unreliability of them being able to save against that yet. Now I have to quit here. Hopefully game loads soon. I wish it wouldn't have this problem, but it does. Something that's come recently, but whatever. There we go. Move it to a place I can see it. Alright, now, the reason I quit this time was that so I can do some shenanigans. Because of the ability to add people, you can transfer items to characters that are not in the party, remove them into the party pool, and then add them back later and take the item from them and transfer it. And because we loaded the game before we transferred the items, we still have the items, but he has the items he gave him as well. And so in this way, we multiply our equipment. So these wands are super powerful, but have a limited number of charges, but and by not overriding bags, but using bags too, I also keep the items that I gave away at the same time, so I multiply them faster. Okay, that's enough. Now we are set. Oh no, lots of people. More undead. So this is what these do. Can't hit all of them. We'll take care of those two. There, easy. They blow up large amounts of forces. Okay, we look, we find magic plane chainmail +1, which gives us max movement speed and allows us to still do this. And yes, we have mages that are wearing plate mail and chainmail and still casting spells. This is the power of 1st edition AD&D. Your mage multi-class characters could use their armor and cast all their spells, which is really handy. Okay, yep, I can start right there, which is fine. It's kind of a low range, but that's okay. This is not actually a very dangerous fight, even if they go first, because the magic missile can do some damage from long range, but it doesn't do a whole lot. And so now these random encounters, rather than being potentially deadly, are mostly just an annoyance. Just as long as I can get my wands off before they get their spells off, which is pretty usual. So these spells, yeah, make... Goodness, all that conversation I always forget every time how much there is. So plotline-wise, we find that the evil minions of Tarkesis, the evil goddess, have taken over the city, and they are after these dragon eggs. And these draconians that we're fighting, evil dragon people, are created via the use of evil magic from dragon eggs. They take good dragon eggs and then they do an evil ritual over them, and they turn into, instead of being good dragons, they turn into various types of draconians. And so that's where the bulk of their armories are, and so we're trying to recover these dragon eggs. And the big fight we had in the temple was a ritual that they were undergoing, which some of them were in. But there are others fleeing with more eggs here, and so we're trying to chase them down. Okay, we wait here and they come closer to us, which is good because then we'll be able to target them with our wands. Again, the limited range of wands makes it so that it's pretty difficult to, with the wands of Ice Storm specifically. We'll get a better wand later on. Don't want to get that close. This should be fine right here, actually. A wand with a better range and better AoE, and the wand of Fireball is slightly more useful. Also, undead are immune to cold. So having the wand of Fireballs will be useful there. But white dragons, amazingly, are not immune to cold in 1st edition D&D, which kind of sucks for them. I should have positioned it so I could get the other dragon too. They can do some decent damage with their breath weapon. Luckily, the damage of Dragon Breath is based on their hit points, their max hit points, but so when we have it, that's done. Okay, and with this, we finished Throttle 2. Now we go to here. Go to the hall so we can train up. It doesn't matter what we learn really, but out of habit I like to learn Stinking Cloud. Now we go to the inn. Don't really need to memorize any more spells now. First we're going to go to Jelek. I can't remember what our purpose is in Jelek, but we get this evil guy who's going to accompany us for a while. And then when he's gone, rough characters like to approach us, and generally we can just run away from them. I always go into that, but I shouldn't. This is where we're going. We ignore him, we start a battle, this crazy lady appears. Let's see. Used up a wand because of limited charges. Alright, dangerous spellcasters here. But again, we can, if we get to go first, we can blow them up with the wand, no worries. Oh yeah, I forgot that he also casts that, and it's very hard to deal with him. I should have just done that to begin with. Luckily, oh god, it didn't work. Okay, yeah, you can tell that he's still charmed by that. So that's unfortunate. Okay, he's just unconscious, which is fine. Or someone already did the thing. Oh wow, she got killed. That's unusual. Okay, this fight is going super duper badly. Now we can take care of them at least. Well, the good news is, because she died, we don't have to worry about dealing with her. Alright, just gonna have to do this. Sorry, Black and Green, you have to take some damage too, but we'll take care of them. Alright, Black Dragons. Which Wand of Ice Storm, once again, perfectly fine against. Didn't really low roll, though. Again, all Dragon's Breath weapons can do some nasty damage if you do it. Okay, we gain experience, come in here. Lots of undead. Luckily, we can just turn them. And now we get our next wand. Now we go back to the outpost. Oops, not the armory, the hall. Red can't train yet, so okay, that's Jelek. Save the game, add our good friend Bags back to the party, and now trade this new wand to Bags. Remove Bags, override him, drop the party. Load save game A before we gave it away, add Bags back to the party. Trade his wand to red. Remove him from the party, don't override him, override Bags to instead. Save the game, add Bags back to the party. Trade his two wands. Drop the party. A. Add bags. Transfer this 3 wands. Okay, there's nothing else. Remove him from the party. Overwrite bags 2 instead. Save the game. Add bags back to the party. Do red. Trade his 5 wands over. Remove bags, overwrite. Drop the party. Alright, last one. Now we transfer the rest of these wands to white and red. Remove bags from the party. We can overwrite now. Go to the inn. Fix up. I don't really care about spells now. Now we go to Gargoth. We say we're tradesmen, we bluff, they let us go. We have good enough charisma that it doesn't matter. We follow this guy, we take his cloaks. We head out here. Monsters attack us because they go the wrong way. Alright. Time to use Fireball on them, I guess. Just supposed to attack them, I accidentally didn't, but oh well. So now we're fighting different types of Draconians. Besides the most basic ones. Secret door here. Bunch of secret doors we have to go through. Wasn't here. To the north, Draconians pour through the door. Here is, so now it's very nice having the 2 wands because the Ice Storm is a slightly lower AoE and sometimes that's actually better. Take care of the last guy, come on. And now these guys are going to be doing most of the damage. With their powerful infinite wands. And I don't really need to do anything more the rest of the game with multiplying equipment out. We're really not going to get much in the way of equipment at all. Mage is going nearly last. That's not good generally. Okay. So now in Gargoth is where the Dragon Lance was hidden, a powerful item that can be used against dragons and inflicts massive damage to them. And we're supposed to eventually recover it. Spoilers, we don't. But we're coming in to get it, and of course the evil forces have taken over this place as well, and there are guards everywhere. Giant snakes can be a problem because they too have a poisonous bite, so I want to hopefully be able to kill them before... Alright, through the stairs here. You know the map, this actually goes pretty good. We'll look here for a secret door. This is where the Dragon Lance was supposed to be, but they took it. They didn't take this magic longsword though, so we're going to take that. Monsters of that, sheesh. Leave us alone, Mel Brooks. Okay, one of them left, so let's go ahead and fireball. That's good. And now we have some guards we have to fight in here. And now we ascend up the tower trying to catch up with the evil Draconian who stole the Dragon Lance from Mortani, who's pretty much the ultimate boss of these enemy forces that we're fighting in the game. Not part of the actual final battle though, because the final battle is just his messengers. But we have to, even though we can't catch him, we have to chase him all the way up these stairs and fight multiple battles along the way. So those ones with the spears have paralytic hits, and which again, you know, can allow us to do one shot, and also they turn into puddles of goo. Now we go up. Rapax, okay. This we need to use coal to not damage ourselves. Okay, that worked well. Up more. That worked well too. It's nice to get 3 hits off right off the bat. Only 1 remaining. Take care of him, guys. Okay. Up. Mortani escapes and sends some black dragons after us. Again, this is a better place for the cold one. Yeah, sorry, Blue. You have enough hit points. They'll take a bit, too. You take care of the dragon. Alright, so now we just go down. And now it's time to leave. Monsters attack. And we'll just use a fireball for the rest. Okay, that was not bad. Now let's see if I remember where this secret door is. Yes, okay, move. We want to leave. That is that. Okay. Now we need to go to Naraka. Whoops, that is not the place. Let's go to the inn, fix, save the game. And now we keep leaving and coming back in until Dragon Lady appears and says that her lover has been kidnapped and we need to help. And there she is, so now, whoops, go to the Commandant and she says, I'll take you to Naraka if you help me rescue him. And we say yes, we come here, we enter the secret base, which is right there by the entrance, very obvious, not much of a secret, and oh, Dragon Lady turned into a dragon. We didn't know she was a Dragon Lady until now, but, you know, that's how things go sometimes. She's like, yes, I'm a dragon, I fell in love with a mortal, deal with it. And we're like, okay, whatever. Like, we don't care. Good dragons, you know. It's one of the neat things about Dragonlance is the dragon-centric aspect of it. I love dragons too, so it's surprising that I didn't really get into Dragonlance more when I was a kid. And now we find that her lover, Sir Carl, has died, and she runs off in a rage, and we're supposed to go into these slave pits and rescue the slaves, but sadly we're leaving them behind. The game makes you feel really guilty about it, but, you know, we have the whole world to save, we can't worry about the slaves. And we leave, and that's Naraka. And now we go to Sanction. And I forgot to train. Luckily, I think this is... Nope, I'm gonna need to look at my map. Sanction docks. It's actually right here. We can train right here. Whoops, I learned slow. Oh well. If I learn haste, that's a potentially very useful spell. And that's pretty much the last time we'll be training in this run. Alright, now we come here. Discover some money missing. Yeah, that happens. And we come to this inn. You can use anyone except the one at the end of the hall, which we're going to. If fighters want to rumble, we just back off. We attack. And of course, by that we mean we blow up fireballs. Very low roll and saves, but sometimes mean they survive. Luckily, the fireballs, the wands, are still a little bit more reliable damage than the necklace of missiles. You'll see me rely on if you've watched my other runs of the game. Character stats, darn it. 6 character status is character, amazingly. Okay, now that we've stumbled upon that meeting, we can rescue this woman. I can't really remember what purpose she has, but it's only with her help that we're able to get into the... Run away from those Minotaurs. We can't run away from these ones. We have to kill them. It's a random amount that you get in this fight. Sometimes as little as 3, sometimes as many as this many, which is kind of bad, but they're generally pretty easy to blow up with a couple of fireball wands, of course. And so their morale should be failing soon. Yep, he surrendered because he's slow. More Minotaurs, and this one always has a set number, I believe. Getting bad rolls on my... actually, no, it's also random. Sometimes there are usually more up in the corner there. And they surrender. Excellent. Now we talk to the woman, and she's like, I will give you the way to get into the hidden temple, but you have to meet me at the docks for some reason. I can't just do it here. We don't know why, so we have to wander over to this area of the docks. Now she gives us a special amulet so we can get into the underground temple area, which is in this building here. Yeah, we'll let the thief go. He doesn't matter. We run away from the Minotaur patrol, and now we have entered the tunnel. Save the game again, follow to the almost the end of this tunnel, encounter patrol. Well, magic missile isn't actually bad, though. Annoying that he got to go immediately first and cast a spell, but just magic missile isn't super bad. Alright, soft rustle of movement. We enter this room, we're attacked by Draconians. Again, lots of Draconians. Draconians everywhere. Okay, now I've rescued the Shadow People, and so they're like, okay, we'll tell you how to get into our home now, so that you can defeat the enemy for us. We're like, yeah, that's what we do. Mobat, so annoying. I can get 2 of them with the Ice Storm without hurting my people. Okay. Very small patrol, luckily. Come in here, we leave through the south door, and now we have a big, long tunnel. Very long tunnel. More Mobats, not a surprise. Mobats are like weird, giant, dire bat things. Oh, there's a slight break in the tunnel. There's a rest room right there where you can actually rest. Any good shield, that's it. Black, take the magic shield. It's random magic item, sometimes it's useful. If it's a good weapon, it's worth at least go over when I don't need to. Going in. So now we're in here. Monsters attack, bad luck. And that was actually the tunnel section. We flee, they retreat in the opposite direction. They tell us more stuff and tell us how to get to the Dragonlance, but we actually don't care about that. Oh darn. I should have used the Ice Storm instead. Kryn's gonna get hit. Oh well. I can actually fix right here. This is the map I'm still not totally sure of. But yeah, I'm going the right way. Good. Again, really handy thing about the Skeletal Knights. These are actually really powerful and hard to turn. So it's generally not worth it too. It's one of the things that makes the Fireball Wands really useful for, because they can be used against the Skeleton Knights. Ice Storm Wands, of course, can't. So if you can't turn them, and it's really hard to succeed at turning them, you're just hacking at them with your swords all day long. So that's right. Maybe that should have been the split? I can't remember. No, this is still pure. Yes, that was part of it. We were just in the dungeons of Gorgas. So yeah, it's fine. Come on, okay, took a bit much damage there. Gonna go ahead and save because we need to be in absolutely tip-top shape. And they both hit, too. Alright, now if I'd learned the haste spell, I could use it before this fight right here to make things a little easier. Also, if I could get enough experience to get to a level 7 fighter, it would help out a bunch, too. The Death Knight here is the toughest fight in the game. He's largely immune to magic, and he has a powerful wand as well, so... Luckily, he has a lot less hit points than us, so if he doesn't save, good. Alright, that's ideal fight, pretty much. Seems scary to be throwing fireballs at our own guys, and not something I ever like to do normally, but it's still the best way to deal with him. Now, Blue Dragon shows up. Blue Dragon is weak. Only 25 hit points. Come on, at least 14. Just enough, okay. They can do some damage with their breath. More Draconian's attack has so many attacks, so many attacks. And now one of the heroes shows up. I can't remember his name. He's a Kender hero. Do we rest? Yes. We crash in. We take a bit of damage falling, but we're fine. That's the end of Gorgas. Now we can enter this tunnel and start climbing up. The Citadel, we need to climb to the very top. Draconian guards, excellent positioning. I can hit them all with a fireball wand here. Monsters leap down from the ladder. Okay, so now he makes him fix, save the game, exit, move, dragons come through. So he turned into a giant so he could move this flying citadel that we're on and chase down the other flying citadel, which is where Mortani is. As it makes its way towards the final area, whatever it's called again. To impact, we're thrown onto the one citadel, take a bunch more damage, and now we have to go north. Couldn't fix all the way, that's unusual. Now I think I go south, and it's right here. Maybe I did not go the right way. No, this is the right way, good. I used to rely on maps for everything, so as I play these more and more, I generally get better. Seek of the Silver Blades has been really hard to learn them all for, but both Curse and Pool of Radiance I don't even use maps anymore because I know them well enough. This I'm getting there, so that's good. Ouch. We take random damage from falling rocks. Okay. I know where I'm going here. We attack these uniformed guards. This makes things easier because we can steal their uniforms. They were not totally blown up by fireballs, we swear. And we treat Tal the Kender as a jump on these dragons. We treat him as a prisoner. Did we actually train? It doesn't seem to let us train. We can actually sleep in the streets, surprisingly. And now, you can get rid of some of these numbers of guards by doing various other things, getting the draconian and human and ogre armies to fight each other. But I generally find it's easier just because fireballs can blow up so many of them. I just fight through the 3 swarms. Still a huge force here. You don't say yes because if you flee, you have to fight them all over again. Ouch, that was a call. Really bad luck here that they all get to go before us. This is like really, really bad luck. That so many of them got to go before us. It's why it's dangerous. It's definitely a lot more dangerous to do it this way than to go through some of the events that will reduce the number of guards, but I still think it's probably faster to do it this way. Okay, that one has some hit points left. Luckily, again, it's really easy to rest anywhere on this difficulty level, so... But we've taken some damage, we're not in super bad shape. The last stragglers show up. Oh, of all things, oh god. Again, why are they going first so much? I shouldn't have bandaged, he needed to use his thing. Okay. Alright, so that's a worst case scenario kind of situation. We did finish the citadels quite a while ago too, actually. I blazed through them. Still got 12 minutes to get sub-hour. Just got to get through these battles in the last few, and it'll be interesting to see if it happens again. Something that's been happening recently is that some of the end game events are being dropped, which means a couple of battles actually, which is really good. Come on, game, work. I really wish I could figure out how to fix this too, but it hasn't been cooperating. It's just one of the things that started happening recently along with OBS crapping out on me. Alright, we get to go first. Amazing. And a really, really big fireball is going to blow up everything. Ouch, that's really bad. That dragon actually survived with 2 stupid hit points. Come on. Okay, we get to go first again. Yay. Oh, I didn't get... Well, that dragon won't be able to breathe from that far away anyway. Cascade explosions of the dying Bovox. Wow, he did breathe that far, huh? Sheesh. Okay, this is bad. Last stragglers shouldn't be a problem, provided I can get my spells off first. There's one Bovac who isn't getting hit who can do a dangerous lightning bolt. Gate to the vase is secured. Okay, the guards, unfortunately, did not get eliminated this time, probably because I reloaded the game. Because I think I made it through the last few attempts I did that started dropping... Oh, that's bad. Killed. Okay, jeez. Alright. Awfulness. starting to see why one of the ideal situations that's a really bad roll too. Which means that dragon's going to get a breath off and do all of his damage. Definitely says something for the strat of, come on, let my guys go first, please. Okay, well, we made it this far. And we get to go first again. My word, they are hitting. You can tell by the brief sound effects whether they hit or miss. The chunk sound versus the tink. I'm hearing an awful lot of chunks when they're, yeah, that's... There we go, okay. Before you play... word 7 is your... Okay, some of Mortani's guard now. Alright, now he's gonna blow up, which is annoying, and there's not a lot you can do. It's easiest just to take it. This? Okay, fine. If it's too big of a group, like including more Aurochs, it's probably better even with the trouble of reloading too. Now this set here, though, is a set battle, I think, so I can't do much about it. Okay, Rice is in his new form. Okay, this should be the next to last Auroch we have to kill. Auroch Draconians have all sorts of crazy things. When you kill them enough times, they arise in a new form, which is a lightning elemental form that blasts you for a few seconds before exploding. Just isn't worth it to try running away from them or anything. Okay, he's in his new form now, so he's only gonna blow up Blue at least. And Blue didn't take that much damage, which is good. So now we need to come into here. Look, find an ornate key. Now we use the key in this room to open up a recipe to get, we apply this salve to us, which will enable us to avoid this powerful thing here. A group of human guards that are very weak. Thanks for going first, Blue. You enable us to run forward. These evil guards are not much of a problem. And now the Dragon Master. Not a difficult fight either, though. nice if I could roll some damage, though. Well, this should be enough. And voila! Okay, 2 fights left. We take the passage. Here's Mortani. Penultimate fight against the big bad Mortani. Last Auroch in the game, thank goodness. Oops, I killed all my guys. That's rough. Okay, his new form is there now. It's going to explode. Alright, so now we need to stop the last 3 dragons. We get fully healed right before the fight, thankfully. And Ice Storm Wands are a little bit more reliable in their damage, since you can't save against them, although that was a horrible roll, which is a bad start. And we can't hit it all, but luckily you kind of surprise them. It takes them several turns before they get to move, so they're easy to blow up. And that's the final fight. Congratulations, we've gained experience, and game over. 58-25. Not bad. Okay. Well, so, that was Champions of Krynn. Looks like I am going to be able to do this, provided that worked right. So, should be able to do this for Questing for Glory at the end of the week, which is great. Sub-hour on Finally was pretty nice. Despite some really, really bad luck at the end. So, one of the neat things that was happening to me recently, which is kind of bad, but kind of neat, is, and I think it was because I managed to make it through the endgame without having to reload, actually, at all. And it's something that's happened to me before in Curse of the Azure Bonds as well. The game gets a little confused when you do a lot of that dropping characters and reloading situation, and it tends to erase certain flags in the game. It's happened to me when I did Curse of the Azure Bonds and made it so I couldn't finish the game because it erased the Beholder fight, which is necessary for getting the Amulet of Lathander, which is necessary for continuing the game. But a couple runs that I've done recently, it's done it here. It eliminated the Dragon Master fight, several of the guard fights. It eliminated finding the ointment box, but somehow I was still able to use the ointment on myself to get past the field, so that didn't matter. So it actually just eliminated several of the worst fights in that final area. So that was really nice. Made things a little easier. But despite that and everything, got sub-hour. That's pretty nice. So I'm probably going to upload this to YouTube really quick here, and so I have it on hand. But that's a nice little run of this. The world record's like sub 45 now. I think it's 44 minutes. So that isn't too bad. I do a few things that are slower, especially safety saving and reloading, so it's going to be really hard for me to ever get the world record again because I just can't do it without safety saves. That kind of frustration of losing the run 50 minutes in or 40 minutes into a run even is just rough for me. And then reloading 12 times before you get a run that gets past 20 minutes because of the horrible clerics at the start. But whatever, it's my run. It was pretty good. And that's that.